Yo, ladies and gentlemen, so I thought of this random idea. I called my best friend Mariah. Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, hey, I want you on a podcast. And the reason why I say this is because you and I, well, first of all, we're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone that doesn't know, that's all over our Instagrams. We're probably in each other's pictures more than 25 to 50% of the time.
Yeah, we are.
And the reason I say that is because I personally love having you as one of my close friends, my best friends, is because I get a female perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about it is there is no like intimacy between us. It's legitimately a strong friendship.
It is.
And it's great to be able to pick up a phone, pick up a FaceTime, or randomly drop by your house and just get a legitimate, transparent opinion, a female opinion, right? And you know how I have some pretty deep conversations, right? We talk about, you know, your relationships, my relationships. All the time. And so I wanted to create this podcast because I feel like there's just so much, I don't know, I want to say fake, but bad information.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the intimacy, and especially for those who are single, right? They're getting information from just not good sources.
Right.
And I feel like with you and I, we're just real with each other.
We are.
You know?
Very
like,
genuine.
Yo, that thing looks ugly, change it, right? Like, how many times have I told you, like,
I don't like it.
I don't like it, chase the heels, man. It does not look good, right?
Take it off.
Right, right. Or, hey, I don't like your hair like that. Make it, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I love it. I personally do. You know, and I have you as a, you know, I also have my other close friend Sabrina, and you guys are just friends for me, and it's just, it's nice. It really is.
I agree.
So, I created this concept so that we could just be real with each other, get some honest feedback for the males and even the females. I'm a male. I can give female, you know, I can give what I think is the female perspective from the male perspective.
I see, which is usually wrong, by the way.
Okay. What do you mean?
It's usually wrong, like 95% of the time.
Well, that's why we're doing this.
Yes, that's why. Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly why. Yeah.
So let's get into it. Honestly, like, first of all, what's your relationship status?
I am single.
Okay, cool.
Happily.
I really want to dive in.
Okay.
You know, you're a beautiful woman. I've always said that to you. You're one of my closest friends. I love you so much. I think you're ambitious. I think you're smart. I think you have a lot of good qualities that men are looking for. What's a girl like you looking for?
Oh my gosh. Are you ready? Do you have a notepad?
Listen.
It's a long list.
Listen.
You said it's a 20-minute podcast?
Give it to me straight.
I'll try to give it to you in like 2 minutes.
All right, go for it.
All right. So, I mean, I'm going to speak for myself because I feel like every woman's different. Every individual has different needs, you know, different emotional needs, different things that they look for in a man. But personally, I love from the get-go immediately, I appreciate if a man is vulnerable, which most men are not. They kind of steer away from that because I feel like if you're vulnerable, to me, that embodies strength. That shows me that you're actually strong. You're okay with being yourself. You're comfortable with that. You're okay with putting your heart out there and possibly getting hurt, because when you're vulnerable, there's always a possibility that you can get hurt. That's why people try to avoid it. But I admire that. So if a man's vulnerable with me, when I first meet him, I take note of that. I like
first
that.
meet him though? Like,
yeah,
we're talking about the first impression here?
Yeah.
So,
first impression.
Listen.
Like even something simple, like he throws me a compliment. That's vulnerability. Like he's saying, "Hey, I think you're very beautiful." Like sweet, kind. You know?
I see what you mean.
Don't try to play like you don't like me. If you like me, be nice. Be honest about it.
Okay, so like scenario, because we're both gym rats here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, dude walks in, sees Mariah's like, whoa, you know, this girl's doing pull-ups. That's hot. Okay, like yeah. Right? So, because you can do pull-ups. I see your back. That's true. Her back is bumping, all right? Oh, whoa, put those away. That's not allowed. No, for real though. So, okay. Guy walks in the gym, sees a beautiful girl like you. Are you saying that he could, like, what, have him approach you and you're telling me like, hey, by the way, I saw you across the gym, I thought you were really beautiful?
That's nice. Yeah, and it also depends because women, we can sense when a guy is like like a dog or just a pervert, or so it depends. Like if a
Oh,
pervert
like
comes
creeper.
up
Are
to
you talking
me,
about like creeper
yeah,
energy?
then I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like that, you know. But I can tell as well, like if it took a lot of courage for that guy to come up to me and tell me that, I think that's sweet, you know. So it depends. It doesn't mean that I'm automatically gonna like him,
Right.
but I think that
It'll.
that's
It's
fine.
the opportunity to open that window.
It's an opportunity, yeah.
Interesting.
First
Okay.
step, first step.
So vulnerability. All right.
Vulnerability,
I
yeah.
mean, you know me. I'm into vulnerability.
Right.
I just didn't think, honestly, that it would be like a first impression thing. Like typically, I don't show my vulnerability till maybe the date, or
Yeah.
maybe the second or third date. To be honest, because like I think you're right. Most men are taught like, I'll be real. Like I mean, I've read books on this stuff, as you know, right? It's like show not as much interest, because I think the exact opposite of that is clinginess. And clingy or desperateness, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean that you're desperate. I think it could be there's different levels of vulnerability and diving in deep and showing your true self with someone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do that within the first 5-15 minutes of meeting someone.
Right.
But I mean, if you think that the girl is beautiful or you like something about her, maybe you know her a little bit. Maybe it's not a total stranger. You know, tell her, be honest with her. Hey, I think you're really smart, or I love how you care about your family so much, or I love how you spend a lot of time with your little brother and, you know, you're teaching him all these things. Things like that. Be observant and be vocal about how you feel and be honest. Admire her and don't be quiet about it. Don't be shy about it. So girls like guys who are direct. If you like it, you want it, go after it.
So okay, that was funny. That kind of more of like the assertiveness is what we're talking about,
right?
Assertive.
Be assertive.
Okay, so just be straightforward. Because you told me a couple times, right, where men have literally approached you and they're like, "Hey, Mariah, I like you. I don't want to just be your friend." And you said that was attractive, right?
Yeah. I thought that was attractive. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even expect that. That guy was one of the most direct guys that I've ever met.
But you thought it was attractive.
It was attractive. I liked it. Unfortunately, at that time, I was in like kind of like a relationship.
Yeah.
So I didn't go for it, but I admired his tenacity and the way that he.
Is that rare now?
I feel like it is more rare. Yeah.
Okay.
It is because everyone's looking for a swipe. Everyone's DMing each other to try and, you know, get someone to come over. There's a lack of connection, especially in our generation.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer older men. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like
there.
it. But that's a whole nother podcast. But that's why I prefer an older man, because I feel like their values are different and typically their values are more aligned with mine. That's another thing that I look for in a man. Values.
Yeah.
So I like vulnerability, values. I like somebody who is very close with their family. Family is number one for them. Family is number one. Before money, before anything else.
Looking for family values.
Family, yeah. So, you know, do you spend time, if you have kids, I'm okay with that, but do you spend time with your kids? Do you love them? Do you have a special bond and connection? Do they feel comfortable with you? Like they can call you anytime and talk to you and open up. You know, are you affectionate with your daughters if you have daughters?
What about those that don't have kids yet?
I think that a woman can still tell if a man is going to be a great dad. And I think that if the woman doesn't have kids and she's a younger woman like myself, then she's probably looking for someone who would be a great dad.
So
like
you're telling me when you meet a guy or a guy approaches you, that's near the top of your head already? Like, is this guy father material?
I already know what I'm looking for. So yeah.
Huh.
And it depends too. Like, women can categorize men kind of like how you categorize women.
Yeah.
Like a little category, like, okay, is this guy, he's just for fun, like he's just on the weekends, or is he potential, like I actually like him, I want to get to know him more, you know, maybe we can have something special. So women can categorize men too and just hang out on the weekends with them if they don't really like them that way. That's a possibility, you know. I
think you're right. So like it really comes down to also like having clarity on what you're looking for, right? As far as, are you trying to have a good time right now? Are you? I mean, for me, like I do both, right? I obviously like to have a great time. Like I love female energy.
Yeah.
Right. I love having, and even if it's just a friend or more, I love having females around me, right? And it's a nice balance. As a man, obviously, it makes more sense, right? And also on the social hierarchy and all of that, having women, especially beautiful women around me, it feels good. I'm not gonna
Is
front
that
of that.
why I'm your best friend?
I mean, just saying, Mariah. Just saying. Nah.
Well, you do have a lot of food in your cupboard.
Yeah.
So that's why
It's
I'm your
mutual,
friend.
all right?
You feed me. I'm your friend.
No, for sure. Obviously,
No, I understand.
you're my best friend because you can do pull-ups. You know, like, there's
And
other
you
ways.
can't. Yeah.
No, but I want to circle back to. I really like the assertiveness because like I think that's a lot of things. Listen, like okay, as a man, I can tell you, approaching a woman takes like. I would rather fall off a cliff sometimes. Okay,
Really?
like yeah, for sure, of course, any guy
Uh-huh.
will tell you that. And like I think like anything else, it's like a muscle that needs to be worked on,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like you and I are really gym brats. So the first time we do a specific workout, it's tough for us.
It is.
And then the more we do it, the easier it becomes, right? It becomes natural almost. In the same way that most men who are, we call them in the club, because I run a nightclub, as you know, we call them wall huggers.
Okay.
You know what wall huggers are, right?
Yeah.
They hug the wall. They're talking with their...
I don't understand that either, especially in a club, type of scenery and environment.
Where they're looking for a good time in the first place.
You're going there to have fun. You're probably never gonna see the girl again. You don't know them.
And vice versa. The girl's going there to be approached, right?
Exactly. More than likely.
Yeah.
More than likely to have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. So
yeah.
like,
or she expects to. If she's not going there, let's say she's married, she's having a good time. We expect to be approached either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not gonna die. No one's gonna die.
Okay.
Approach you. Like, what's gonna
I wanna
happen?
quote, you're
she's
not
gonna say
gonna die.
no, and then you're just gonna drop dead when she says that. Like you just died. Like dead.
Got it.
I don't. Yeah.
I like that though. You have to be aware of where you're at, right?
Yeah.
And like you were saying, if the girl's expecting to be approached, whether she likes you or not, it's just a far less risk environment.
It's expectation, yeah. And
Right.
even if you're not expecting to be approached, like if someone approaches me in the gym or in the grocery store or at church or at the park, like you're still not gonna die. I promise. You won't drop dead. Okay. The worst thing that can happen is the girl's gonna say no. And it's not even going to be an insulting no, like, no, how dare you approach me at this grocery store? I was just getting almond milk. How dare you? Like, no, it's not.
Yo, oat milk gang, okay?
Yeah. She's just going to be like, oh, no, like when I'm not interested, I usually act like I'm going to take a phone call, like, oh, no.
Right.
Or like, I just go like, oh, not interested. And I just like walk away. Like, it's not even that painful for you because it literally lasts like 2 seconds.
So, okay, so here's a cool question because like I like how this podcast is more about first impressions and like even how to approach the girl in the first place, right? Because I think future episodes will be more about like the deeper connection of love. Because I know you, especially me, and I know you and I both go into deep on that end.
Yeah.
But for this particular piece, like from the top of your head, what was your most memorable or memorables first impressions?
I think I told you this story before, but it actually wasn't that long ago. It was a couple months ago. I was at an event. For real estate, and this guy was just very intentional about what his
So what do you do? He pulled you aside? Is that what happened?
Intentions were with me. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he literally pulled you aside.
So he was a speaker. He was the one throwing the event. There was hundreds of people there, and he already knew me from mutual friends. He doesn't know me personally, but he knows of me, and he's been trying to take me out for some time. And I said no. I've been just saying no, And so then once we met in person, he was like, oh, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. Finally, he shook my hand, like great impression. It's very respectful. It's a pleasure to meet you finally. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go do something on stage really quick. I'll be right back. And I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you a little bit. I know we're only going to be here for an hour, but I want to spend some time with you. Is that okay? And I'm like,
oh,
yeah.
Wow. Very direct. Almost.
Yeah, very direct. I'm like, okay, yeah, So then he goes on stage, he does his thing, he comes back, and then he's like, hey, Mariah, I just want you to know that now that I have this time with you, I just want to let you know that I don't want to just be your friend. I know you have a lot of friends. There's a lot of guys who are your friends. I don't want to just be your friend. I want to get to know who you are. And I want to take you out on a date. I'm 40 years old. And I'm looking for a potential wife, and I love the qualities that you have. You have great qualities, and I think you're very beautiful.
But isn't that interesting? Because he didn't really know you at that point.
He doesn't know me personally. Follows me on social media. I do share a lot of my personal life on social media.
So I guess based on what he was seeing.
Based on what he was seeing, yeah. Based on what he was seeing, he felt like he knew me at least a little bit. But I did like the gesture.
I heard
you know. And during that time, I was like going through a breakup, so I wasn't mentally there. Like I couldn't give him what he needed, even though I thought he was like a great guy. I just wasn't ready to date him yet, but I did love his approach.
That was one of the best first impressions you've gotten.
It was.
I really wanted to emphasize something you just said, and because you said that he's been writing to you online, messaging you and all this stuff, and you've kind of just been aloof.
It wasn't until wrong timing.
Was because I thought, because I'll be honest, I was gonna go more in the direction of, was it because it was in person? Like, okay, we live, like you were saying earlier, we live in this digital age, right?
In person was better,
right? Because listen, I can tell you that I've made this mistake, and now that you're telling me more about, like, oh darn, I made those mistakes, is I was saying all of these things, these assertive things, these, hey, I want to be intentional with you, but I was doing it over text or a voice message or something. How much more powerful is it to have to hear it in person?
100 times.
Yeah.
100 times more powerful to hear it in person. And I feel like women appreciate that as well, because it takes a strong man.
It's much harder, I can tell you. Yeah.
In front of your face and tell you that to your face.
Yeah.
And feel like they want to pull you aside and give you 5 or 10 minutes to tell you that and to make sure that you hear it and that you know. That means that you want to get to know me personally, and you're not just trying to sleep with me. Women appreciate that, and we know.
Man, by the way, that's like probably a big takeaway for me. I'm going to tell you right now, because that's insane. Really think about it. Again, I've told you this. I just said it right now. I've been this description you're talking about. Hey, listen, I want to get to know you on a personal basis. I'm not just trying to have a good time with you or, you know, a fun time. I really want to get to know you as a human being.
Were you lying?
Of course not.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of times. No, but for real, like, I've done that, but I didn't do it in person. And then I'll tell you right now, the times I've done it in person, like, the turnover rate is way lower. Like, the conversion rate is so much higher. That's kind of funny. I'm calling it conversion rate.
I know. We're selling houses.
But no, you're 100% right. You know, and I like how you said that. It takes a strong man to do it, because anyone can be a keyboard warrior, and hey, baby girl, I like you. I want to get to know you. Blah blah blah. blah. Over text. How much courage does that really take? None. Right? But just to look them in the eye and say, hey, I really like you as a human being. I want to get to know you more. Right? On a personal level. Right? I want to get to know your favorite color. All this stuff.
It's the looking in the eye and telling me to my face.
Yeah.
Everything that I feel like is important should be told to someone's face. Like, hey, I want to talk to you about it. So when you're trying to be intentional with someone and you want a girl, like, try to get in front of her in person if you can.
So create scenarios and situations where you're now meeting in person.
Yeah.
So that I'll tell you why, because I think as a man, we sometimes get too excited and we just want to say it right there and then. You know what I mean? Like, there's been moments where I'm recollecting right now where I feel so strongly about somebody that I just can't hold it in anymore. But because I'm not there with her in person, I just then face message it or whatever. You know what I mean? Where I think, unfortunately, that sort of takes away the magical moment of it, right? Takes away the opportunity to create more attraction from it.
Yeah. I think you can still be intentional, like, through text messages, so she can, like, feel your energy, your vibe, kind of see what you're about. But once you're in person, it would validate everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you're in person, you can give her that reassurance or just tell her what you want to tell her to her face. All right, I respect that so much. You tell me to my face, even if I don't like you, even if I'm not interested in you, or if I find you there's zero attraction at all, you're not my type at all, and you come up to me and you're kind and sweet and you're a gentleman, I'll admire you. I'd be like, oh wow, you know, that's a good guy. Like, that's cool.
You know what's sad is because I think a lot of men, and I know this, will almost look down upon other men that do that, but they failed. Make sense? Like, this is not me, but I will say from other perspectives, and I've seen it because that's happened to me, is I'll approach a girl, especially when I was younger, I would approach a girl, right? It takes a lot of courage to do it. Talk to her, whatever. She shot me down. And then when I got back to my boys, or not my boys, but, like, let's say other men, right, now that are not my friends, they're like, ha, bro, you got shot down. You're not, you know, and they'll basically bring me down.
I see.
And then and unfortunately, what happens to my confidence at that point?
Right.
Plummets, right? Where you're saying that actually doing that, although some of the guys might be like, he's a loser or whatever, the girls are probably all looking at him saying, wow, look at the courage that he just went and, you know, did and to approach the girl.
Yes.
Shooting a shot.
Yes.
That's what we call it, right? We call it shooting a shot.
Women will admire you if you shoot your shot, even if you get turned down.
Question. If you saw, let's say you're in a group and you saw a man approach a girl, let's say at a bar, and he shot a shot but got shot down, are you now looking at him saying, oh, damn, like, that's a confident guy?
No.
Okay.
No, because Because when I'm at a bar, I'm not looking at anyone. Like, I'm having fun. I'm in my own world.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, who's approaching who and where. Like, so no. But let's say the guy approached my friend who was right next to me, so I got to witness it right in front of me. I would think, oh wow, that's cool. It's a confident guy. Do I like him now? No, like, I don't care.
But he does kind of elevate in your eyes.
But I do feel like, oh, that's cool. It's confident. I'll be like, hey girl, like, why didn't you like him? Or like, what's going on? Like, why not? What? And
Got it.
Yeah. So a man who isn't afraid, who knows what they want, just like you, Seth. You're great in business. You're tenacious.
Appreciate that.
You don't stop until you get.
Yo, keep going. I like this part.
Yeah. You won't stop until you get what you want.
Facts.
And that's what women like, and I feel like that's why women admire an ambitious man, because it takes some level of discipline to get to that level of success.
Yeah,
which I admire. Yeah. I don't admire a man because, oh, he has so much money. Like, I have my own money, but I admire the fact that he's so disciplined. He wakes up every day and he keeps going after it. Because
it typically spills into other parts of his life.
You would hope so,
right? The relationship, hopefully into fatherhood and other, like I said, all the other areas of life, right? And even to the point where if the relationship starts having issues, his ambition or his tenacity to not give up means, in a sense, that he's not going to give up on the relationship.
I would disagree with that.
Really?
I think that just because somebody is, and this is going to sound counterintuitive to what I just said, and I'll explain more, but I feel like, no, just because a man is ambitious and tenacious and disciplined in one area of his life, which is his business, and he does very well, does not mean he's going to be successful in love, does not mean he's going to be loyal, does not mean he's going to be a good father at all. So I will simply admire the man for what he does, because I admire someone who's disciplined. And then I'll make my judgment as he shows me more of who he is, of how I feel about him in other aspects, in other areas of his life.
Yeah.
Because not everyone who is ambitious is a great mother or father or is a loving, genuine person.
They're two very different traits.
Very different traits. But so far, I will say that I like an ambitious man. I think that's attractive. That's a first step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, listen, we're now way past 20 minutes too. We're going to do this often. If you guys like the stuff, comment, like it, share it. If you want to see Mariah again, don't comment, don't like it, don't share it. This is cool.
Yeah.
And I'm more excited to go into the deeper love stuff, right? Because you know me, I can talk about that. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love that stuff. So, but I think this is cool for first impressions. I think this is cool for getting a female perspective of what she thinks attractive. Because like, before you can get into the love stuff, you gotta open that window in the first place.
You do.
And this
open the window.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just, dogs. This is for opening the window. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed. You want to say peace out, everybody, too?